Let me, yeah, hi. Hi, good morning. It's morning here, ain't it? Well, supposedly. At least it was, at least that's what they tell me. Of course, what the hell do they know? Hi, my name's Brian. At least I know that. See right there? It says, I'm a poet. And welcome to my YouTube channel. Seems like everyone's got one these days. Well, this one is mine. And it is where you are at right now. And that's an important thing to know. Because no matter what time of day it might be, floating out in the relativity like we do, at least you know where you're at. And I hope you're having a good one. Welcome to the channel. What are we here for? We are here for hopefully something cool. So, how should I? So, yeah, I'll just look at the chat for a second. Hey, stranger, how's it going? Did you watch yesterday's? It was freaking awesome. Hey, Miriam. So, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're on replay, thank you very much for spending a little bit of your time with me. Because, time is precious. Time is fleeting, and if you're doing something cool, might as well share it with people. Also need to remind everybody, everything here is done under fair use, and it's in the public domain for the most part. And we're supposed to say this, like and subscribe. Was at an all-time high twice of once. We hit once 433. Now we're back to 432 on our subscriber saga. Oh, good afternoon, Joe. How's it going? I hope you guys are enjoying it, wherever it may be and wherever it might consist of. I hope it is treating you cool. So, what are we here for? We are here for poetry because that's what we do here. Sometimes mine, but right now, we're turning that poetry into something really cool by using dreaded AI. Yeah, it's got its places, Creamy butternut squash and tarragon soup. Ooh, that sounds tasty. Hey, how's it going? All right, so what are we here for? We're here for classic poetry. What do we do with that classic poetry? We turn it into music using, like I said previously, AI. Yes, that artificial intelligence that's eventually probably going to just take everything over. You never know. Life might be better. Keeping humans out of it. Yeah. Yeah, but that'll be probably a long way after this guy's gone the way of the dodo. But hey, in the meantime, let's have some fun. And let's just see, please, what is on the agenda for today. I'm going to make sure that is there. We have 6 poems brought to you by this book. And they are also in the description on this one. Yeah, I got off my butt and actually put a little bit in the description. They are as follows. As you can see, February Evening in New York by Denise Levertov. I think we've had her on the show before, but hey, first time for everything. Then, of course, we've had Alan Dugan before. This one is on Looking for Models. And then this is a new one. At least it doesn't ring a bell. Donald Justice. He quotes T.S. Eliot, so it can't be all that bad. This is in memory of the unknown poet Robert Boardman Vaughan. Then, for the second half of the show, we have this guy here, Tony Harrison poem Bookends 1. There's 2 of them, so we might have number 2 tomorrow. Bookends, number 1. And then we got and Sexton, the truth the dead know. And rounding out the last half of the show, we're going to go back to the ancient Greeks. You know, I love the ancient Greeks. Perseus by Robert Hayden. Well, he's not ancient Greek, but the subject of his poem that we are sharing is ancient Greek. Well, that goes without saying, now doesn't it? So, what do y'all guys think? And we're missing this. Ha! That's better. Let's get on with the show, shall we? Just let me pull this up. Oh boy, it's too early in the morning and I've already been up too long. So let's go to a February evening in New York.
As the stores close, a winter light opens air to iris blue, glint of frost through the smoke. Grains of mica, salt of the sidewalk. As the buildings close, released autonomous. Feet pattern the streets in hurry and stroll. Balloon heads drift and dive above them. The bodies aren't really there. As the lights bright, as the sky darkens, a woman with crooked heels says to another woman, while they step along at a fair pace, you know I'm telling you, what I love best is life. I love life, even if I ever get to be old and wheezy or limp, you know. Limping along, I'd still, out of hearing to the multiple disordered tones of gears changing a dance, to the compass points out four-way river, prospect of sky wedged into avenues, left at the ends of streets, where sky, more life tonight, a range of open time at winter's outskirts.
So that was cool. Yes, a lovely way to start. Hey, Irish, how's it going? Well, without, I'm just gonna go ahead and play the next one because I gotta go check on my dogs. Remember, pets and kids come first.
As the stores close, a winter light opens air to iris glint of frost through the smoke, grains of mica, salt of the sidewalk. As the buildings close, released autonomous, feet pattern the streets in hurry and stroll. Balloon heads drift and dive above them. The bodies aren't really there. As the lights brighten, as the sky darkens, a woman with crooked heels says to another woman, while they step along at a fair pace, you know I'm telling you what I love best is life. I love life, even if I ever get to be old and wheezy or limp. You know, limping along, I'd still out of hearing to the multiple disordered tones of gears changing, a dance to the compass points out, four-way river, prospect of sky wedged into avenues left at the ends of streets, west sky, east sky, more life tonight, a range of open time at winter's outskirts. At winter's outskirts.
It gets you some sleep, man. There's always a replay. And I'm serious. Watch yesterday's. It was freaking great. And today's seemed to be pretty cool too. But yes, number one, definitely the winner on those two. Oh boy. So, what are we looking at now? Oh yeah, Alan Dugan. Here, let's go. Yeah, look at the local video. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this is minute ones, but the second version of this minute. So let's see what this one has in store for us.
The trees in time have something else to do besides their treeing. What is it? I'm a starving to death. Man, myself, and thirsty by their fountains, but I cannot drink their mud and sunlight to behold. I do not understand these presents that drink for months in the dirty light and then fast dry in the cold. They stand it out somehow, and how the botanist will tell me it is the something else that bothers me. So I often go back to the forest
cool. Definitely not a snoozer. Definitely not a snoozer. Didn't suck. Let's compare it to the second one, shall we? But first, hey, Teresa, thank you for joining. Hey, as long as you're listening, that's all that matters. That's a lesson for life, too. All right, this is a 4-minute long one. Hopefully it won't turn out like the ex-girlfriend. Cools, but cuts us off right there at the good part. Oh. Yeah, that was definitely ex-girlfriend territory. uh, no need to thank me. Yeah, I'm. Why not? Hey, we're all friends here. Um, Yay. Those were too hard to choose from. But yeah, yeah, and Millie, I hope you're doing pretty good. All right, I had no idea where I was going to go with that, so might as well just keep on going. Oh yeah, let's see here. Oh, this is the Donald Justice. This is a new one, new poet, in memory of the unknown poet.
It was his story. It would always be his story. It followed him, overtook him finally. The boredom and the horror and the glory. Probably at the end he was not yet sorry. Even as the boots were brutalizing him in the alley, it was his story. It would always be his story. Blown on a blue horn, full of sound and fury. But signifying, oh, signifying magnificently the boredom and the horror and the glory. I picture the snow as falling without hurry to cover the crumbles and the toppled ash cans completely. It was his story. It would always be his story. Lately had wandered between St. Mark's Place and the Bowery. Already half a spirit, mumbling and muttering sadly. Oh, the boredom and the horror and the glory. All done now, but I remember the fiery, hypnotic eye and the raised voice blazing with poetry. It was his story. It would always be his story. The boredom and the horror and the glory.
That was pretty cool. Very disturbing. But yeah, I like that. Nice bluesy waltz. I wonder what it'd sound like, you know me, the Black Sabbath treatment or surf. That would be an interesting juxtaposition. Something like dance surf with that one. I don't know. Let's yeah, we're just glad you're okay. Yeah, great play on words here. Okie dokie. Here, yes, I'm just being ultra boring this morning. Oh yeah, after this one I'll tell you about last night. All right, bye. Here we go. In memory of the unknown poet version 2.
story. It would always be his story. It followed him, it overtook him finally. The boredom and the horror and the glory. Probably at the end he was not yet sorry. Even as the boots were brutalizing him in the alley, it was his story. It would always be his story. Blown on a blue horn, full of sound and fury, but signify, oh signify magnificently. The boredom and the horror and the glory. I picture the snow as falling without hurry to cover the cobbles and the toppled ash cans completely. It was his story. It would always be his story. Lately he had wandered between St. Mark's Place and the Bowery. Already half a spirit mumbling and muttering sadly. Oh, the boredom and the horror and the glory. All done now, but I remember the fiery, hypnotic eye and the raised voice blazing with poetry. It was his story and would always be his story. The boredom and the horror and the glory. All done now, but I remember the fiery, hypnotic eye and the raised voice blazing with poetry. It was his story and would always be his story. The boredom and the horror and the glory.
Well, that one did cut us off right at the end. No woe is me's. That's good. And yes, sending good vibes your way, Millie, our dear. And yes, pretty much. So, first half of the show has been pretty cool. No, no stinkers, no snoozers. Definitely no sucker. None that suck. Lots of question marks. Because both of those were pretty cool for different reasons, except number one kind of wins out because it was, well, it didn't cut us off at the end. All right. So, yeah, I know I'm silly. Like I said, it's been too long of a morning. It's been a morning already, and I've been up too long. But as usual, this is the time I need to remind everything we do here is done under fair use and in the public domain. And please like and subscribe. You know that the subscriber saga is never ending, at least for this guy. Oh, we missed you too, but as long as you come, as long as you're okay, that's all that matters. Yes, and I'm glad that what little I do here helps, because one of my functions, especially in the anti-Scientology space, is to help people escape, enlighten a little while, and every once in a while, but definitely help people forget for a while, because it's a messed up world, and in a nutshell, life happens. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you about last night. It was actually pretty interesting. It was the poet laureate of Louisiana. Her name is Allison Pellegrin, if I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, Allison Pellegrin. Read it. This visiting poets series they have there at UCA. She's really funny. Oh my Lord, she's really funny. And she brought up Scientology. I flipped the hell out because it was cool. It was interesting. It was like she in two separate poems. One she wrote about her dad. Apparently her dad liked to read Dianetics because he had a well-worn copy of it. I asked her if he ever got into it, and she said as far as she knew, that was as far as he got into that. But from what I understand, her dad was pretty eccentric, and considering just how interesting this woman is, I'm pretty sure she gets what her uniqueness from her dad. And then she actually mentioned Scientologists in a poem she wrote about the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, because she's, from the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of Mexico. Don't get me started there. So yeah, she's from the Gulf of Mexico coast in down in South Louisiana, and they was affected by that. And apparently she had hired some Scientologists to do some work for her, and of course it was about being ripped off by it's partially about being ripped off by contractors. So yeah, that was interesting. She also does this lovely thing with prisons, and of course Susan Rhodes, the Arkansas poet laureate, was there. I didn't get to talk to her as much as I wanted to. Is like, but I told her, I got to tell her, I was like, because my nephew just recently got out of the clink for doing something stupid, but that's usually why you get put in the clink. I'm glad he's out and making a better life for himself, but that got me thinking when I was listening to her, Allison, Miss Pellegrin, talk about her experience in there. I'm like, maybe this would be interesting to do. And and I as I was leaving, I approached Suzanne. I was like, if you decide to do something like that, count me in. So I'll email her and remind her. But yeah, it was cool. Yes, even I was watching Miss Kim read through it, and I don't know how she made it all through it. It was making my brain itch, and my eyes just want to cross and roll back in my head at the same time. Oh yeah, but that was interesting. And you know what they say? They in this instance being the Chinese, may you live in interesting times. That's a curse, and we definitely live in interesting times. And I modify it by, may you have an interesting life, and may you have plenty of interesting friends. And I've got well, according to the little counter here, I've got 8 interesting YouTube friends. I don't want to say parasocial. I know Keela hates that word, and I really don't like it either. So we're just going to get on with the program. That's what she said. Get on with the program. Okay, this is a new one. Tony Harrison, Bookends. And this one is not 4 minutes long, but the next one is. Ooh.
Bake the day she suddenly dropped dead. We chew it slowly, that last apple pie. Shocked into sleeplessness, you're scared of bed. We never could talk much, and now don't try. You're like bookends, the pair of you, she'd say. All that great, say nothing, sit, sleep, stare. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. Not as good for staring in blue gas. Too regular, each but each yellow spike. At night you need my company to pass, and she not here to tell us we're alike. Your life's all shattered into smithereens. Back in our silences and sullen looks. For all the scotch we drink, what's still betweens? Not the 30 or so years, but books, books, books. You're like bookends, the pair of you, she'd say. Hog that great, say nothing, sit, sleep, stare. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. Not as good for staring in blue gas. Too regular, each but each yellow spike. At night you need my company to pass, and she not here to tell us we're alike. Your life's all shattered into smithereens. Back in our silences and sullen looks. For all the scotch we drink, what's still betweens? Not the 30 or so years, but books, books, books.
That was freaking phenomenal. I don't know about you, but it had me both air drumming and air guitaring at the same time. Oh boy, don't you just love it? I say that way too much, but I love it. Yes, it is a small world sometimes. Oh yes, and oh, what is this? No, oh no, this one up here. F interesting times bring back the boredom. No, just yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely loved that. That was a really good track. That's what we live for. That's why we do this. And let's go ahead. We need more pass crossing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Remember, this one's the 4-minute long version. So, yeah. But that was pretty freaking cool. So, let's see what this one has in score for us. Store. Bookends, number 1, version 2, Tony Harrison.
Bake the day she suddenly dropped dead. We chew it slowly, that last apple pie. Shocked into sleeplessness, you're scared of bed. We never could talk much, and now don't try. You're like bookends, the pair of you, she'd say. Hog that great, say nothing, sit, sleep, stare. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. Not as good for staring in blue gas. Too regular each bud, each yellow spike. At night you need my company to pass. And she not here to tell us we're alike. Your life's all shattered into smithereens. Back in our silences and sullen looks. For all the scotch we drink, what's still between us? Not the 30 or so years, but books, books, You're like bookends, the pair of you, she'd say. Hog that great, say nothing, sit, sleep, sit, stare. The scholar me, you worn out on poor pay. Only our silence made us seem a pair. Not as good for staring in blue gas. Too regular each bud, each yellow spike. At night you need my company to pass. And she not here to tell us we're alive. Your life's all shattered into smithereens. Back in our silences and sullen looks. For all the scotch we drink.
Actually, I didn't mind that one ending like that because, yeah, number 1 standout, of course. Number 1 was freaking awesome. Number 2 was okay. They could have stopped it about 30 seconds earlier or something. But, ooh, you're definitely going to be hearing Bookends number 1 again. All right, so what we got here next is, Ann Sexton. See if was there any, no. Ann Sexton. The truth the dead know. Here we go.
Gone, I say, and walk from church, refusing the stiff procession to the grave, letting the dead ride alone in the hearse. It is June, I am tired of being brave. We drive to the cave I cultivate myself, where the sun gutters from the sky, where the sea swings in like an iron gate, and we touch in another country people die. My darling, the wind falls in like stones from the wide-hearted water, and when we touch, we enter touch entirely. No one's alone. Men kill for this or for as much. Without shoes, in their stone boats they are more like stone than the sea would be if it stopped. They refuse to be blessed. Throat, eye, and knuckle bone. They lie without shoes. In their stone boats they are more like stone than the sea would be if it's they refuse to be blessed. Throat, eye, knuckle bone.
I don't know about you, but that was pretty freaking cool. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining us. It's early for you. Yeah, you're on the West Coast, right? So everybody's saying, so what do y'all think? I liked it. I liked it a lot. It definitely brought out the poem. And if you look at the text, it all rhymes, but in a very disjointed way. Very good, very good. I liked it. All right. Yes, Miss Sexton knew her craft. Here's version 2.
Gone, I say, and walk from church, refusing the stiff procession to the grave, letting the dead ride alone in the hearse. It is June, I am tired of being brave. We drive to the cape, I cultivate myself where the sun gutters from the sky, where the sea swings in like an iron gate, and we touch in another country, people die. My darling, the wind falls in like stones from the white-hearted water, and when we touch, we enter touch entirely. No one's alone. Men kill for this or for as much. And what of the dead? They lie without shoes. In their stone boats they are more like stone than the sea would be if it stopped. They refuse to be blessed, throat, eye, and knuckle bone. My darling, the wind falls in like stones from the white-hearted water. When we touch, we enter touch entirely. No one's alone. Men kill for this or for as much. And what of the dead? They lie without shoes. In their stone boats they are more like stone than the sea would be if it stopped. They refuse to be blessed, throat, eye, and knuckle bone.
Yeah, number 2 was cool, but number 1 was slightly better, in my opinion. For a few reasons that they didn't lean into on the second one, the country pop. They didn't lean into that as much as they needed to, and how it started off really abruptly. I like the intro for the first one, anyways. But yes, we're getting. Cool. Don't you just love it? All right, we are on our final track our final poem, not our final track. Our final selection for today. We are going to go back to the ancient Greeks via Robert Hayden's poem, Perseus.
have passed me then. No garland-bearing girl, no priest or staring boy, and lived. Could have passed me then. No garland-bearing girl, no priest or staring boy, and lived.
Well, yeah, it cut us off there. Oh, let's see here. Wow, we got some shower time. Yay! All right, I'm just going to go ahead and play the second version, which is shorter. I should have warned y'all that was 4 minutes. I forgot to after I started playing it. But this one is 3 minutes and 7 seconds. So let's.
A sleeping head with a
Now, that was just freaking incredible. Yeah. Oh! So we've had 3 standout tracks today. Well, maybe this Friday's show is shaping up. Yeah. So what do y'all think, my friends? Interesting show today. Definitely didn't suck. It was definitely better than Monday's, but not as good as yesterday's. Yesterday's was phenomenal. All right. So enough of that. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. All of you that have stuck around to the end. You know, I'm not going to leave you on that, but because I got to do something first here. I got to remind everybody that everything we do here on this program is pretty, fair use, public domain and all that stuff. But more importantly, it's that awesomeness of the day ahead that we should all go out there and enjoy. I have no idea what I'm doing until later. Oh. Oh. Anywho. One more for the road. And what will it be? Let's see here. Let me go ahead and get to the right folder. All right. Oh, no, not there. Get your head out of your backside, Brian, and play. Let's see here. This. If it'll play.
O'er the wet sands, an insect crept. Ages ere man on earth was known, and patient time while nature slept, the slender tracing turned to stone. Was the first autograph and ours. Prithee, how much of prose or song in league with the creative powers shall scape oblivion's broom so long? Was the first autograph and ours. Prithee, how much of prose or song in league with the creative powers shall scape oblivion's broom so long? Oblivion's broom so long.
So definitely one more for the road. Oh, get your dancing shoes on.
If he could know my songs are all for him, at silver dawn or in the evening glow, would he not smile and think it but a whim? If he could know, or would his heart rejoice and overflow as happy brooks that break their icy rim, when April's horns along the hillsides blow? I may not speak till Arrow's torch is dim. The god is bitter and will have it so. And yet tonight our fate would seem less grim if he could know. Or would his heart rejoice and overflow as happy brooks that break their icy rim, when April's horns along the hillsides blow? I may not speak till Arrow's torch is dim. The god is bitter and will have it so. And yet tonight our fate would seem less grim if he could know.
Oh, I love it. And if, like I said before, if that don't get y'all booty shaking, there's something wrong with you. All right, my friends. Thank you all for sticking around to the end. Oh yes, I'm glad. That's definitely what that one. Grab your partners and dance your socks off. Oh boy. All right, my friends. Like I said, it's been a morning. I've been up already. Oh, but hey, thank you, my friends, for sticking around to the end here, for being on this journey with me for just a little while. I know I'll see y'all out there in the chatsies and stuff. I got stuff to do this evening, but it's a Wednesday. It's a hump day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Barring whatever. Y'all have fun. And I can't think of anything else to say. So like, subscribe, and all that jazz. And